Hi there, welcome back to Mill Creek Church, the place where you belong. We are so thankful that you came out and chose to worship with us. We're currently doing our Wednesday night word of encouragement. If you'd like to find out more information about Mill Creek Church, you can visit us on the web at millcreekbaptist.online or join our Facebook group that you will see displayed on the screen. And if you would like to know more about Mill Creek Church, please feel free to fill out our Connect Plus card that will be linked in the description below, and someone from our church will be reaching out to you shortly. Today's reading comes from 1 Peter chapter 2, verses 19 through 21. For this finds favor, if for the sake of conscience toward God a person bears up under sorrows when suffering unjustly. For what credit is there if, when you sin and are harshly treated, you endure it with patience? But if when you do what is right and suffer for it, you patiently endure it, this finds favor with God. For you have been called for this purpose, since Christ also suffered for you, leaving you an example for you to follow in his steps. When was the last time you were persecuted? The sad truth is that persecution has been around as long as people have been around. By the grace of God, there are many living in the world today that have never faced severe persecution. But how have they managed to escape it? Some have been blessed to be sheltered from such tyranny. Others have never experienced it because they refuse to engage in any matter that might be controversial. I heard of a man who was scared as he began his new job because he was a Christian, and he had heard that he'd be working with a rougher crowd of individuals. He thought they might poke fun at him or even worse. After his first shift, his wife asked him, "Honey, how was your first day at work?" The man's reply, "I got along just fine. They don't even know I'm a Christian." Silence is one way to avoid persecution in the world today. Some other ways include privatizing your faith, relegating it to the home and the church while acting just like everyone else when you're in public. This could look like approval of worldly standards. By the way, they always seem to be changing. It could be laughing at lewd jokes or comments, enjoying the pleasures of all kinds of media at your fingertips, and never mentioning the God who created you and who called you to his service. If you never confront sin, if you never tell people that Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life, if you act like the world acts, you will probably be accepted and be made to feel right at home. But that comes with a price. Jesus said, "For whoever is ashamed of me and my words, the Son of Man will be ashamed of him when he comes in his glory." The last thing any believer wants is for the God who saved them, the one who called them out of darkness and into light, the one who formed and fashioned them in their mother's womb, for that God to be ashamed and grieved over them. That is an enormous price to pay for acceptance in this fleeting world. But here's the thing. If you take a stand with Christ, it means standing in the way of the world. And the world won't stand for that. You will be in direct opposition to the prince of the power of the air and the way in which the world system operates in its fallen state. And you will be persecuted. Adam and Eve were graced with two children we read about in Genesis 4. One was righteous, the other jealous. And the righteous paid with his life at the hands of the jealous. So too it was with Jesus the Christ. Just like our Lord, we should never fear persecution. We are told as friends of God that we should not be afraid of the world. For the worst they can do is persecute these mortal bodies, and they can even persecute us unto death. But folks, Jesus is the resurrection and the life. God will grant the believer grace and never allow your testing to be more than the grace he gives and enables you to overcome it. Writing to the church at Philippi, Paul even goes so far as to say that persecution is just as much a gift of God as salvation itself. What a thought. Both identify you as a true believer. Is that you?